YouTube! What the crap's going on? Hey, what's better than one Carthage? That's right, two Carthages. Fighting at the Battle of Mons Regius. So you know what the best part about this is? At least I know Carthage is gonna win. Glad that someone realizes how important it is for Carthage to win. So let's see, it's gonna be an interesting matchup to see how players do it. Let's check out both players and see what they've decided to do. So this player over here has mercenary Samnite warriors. Looks like there's a couple of them. Libyan infantry on the flanks, so 3 Libyans on the flanks, 2 Samnites in the center. Libyan Peltis in the center, which is like a heavy skirmish option. I think I see 3 Carthaginian cav, and there's a mercenary noble fighter on each flank, so heavy hitting power on the flank. Let's check out the red bannered Carthage here. Several Scutari cavalry, so they'll do a little bit better in melee than the Carthaginian cav, but I think they have a little less armor. Could be wrong on my stats here. Interesting pick of the Carthaginian hoplites and the Samnite warriors. So this army is more defensive. Then there's some mercenary Scutari and Gallic warriors backing it up. There are some Samnites here. Iberian swords. Interesting. A little bit lighter infantry in total over here, and there is some Libyans there. It's a very odd mix-up of infantry here, so I think I see 1 Samnite and 2 Libyans. And then I think there's 2 Carthaginian hoplites, some late Libyans up front where I see the Iberian swordsmen, Balearic slingers. Okay, now that's where we could make the difference. Because there's 2 Balearic slingers, so the ranged advantage going for the red bannered Carthage. Numidian noble cavalry out here. This is a very expensive pick. These guys, if you can manage them right, can be pretty good, but in a Rome 2 of so many javelins, they're a very risky pick. Very risky pick indeed. I wish that Numidian cavalry in general for Carthage had been more like the raiding horsemen or the other decent melee javelin cav that you see in the game, like Germanic scouts, raiding horsemen, and a bunch of the others. There's so many better javelin cav than the Numidians. It's kind of sad. Alright, so this Carthaginian player is spread wider. Looks like the other one hopes to skirmish. Have to watch out for the Peltist. Those can be useful, as that they're pretty well armored. They can take a bit of a flogging in melee. Oh, the spaghetti lines are real. It's one thing that I don't miss about Rome 2. Warhammer's done such a better job at ridding itself of the spaghetti lines. Alright, let's watch it go down. Balearic slingers are going to open fire. Yeah, the skirmishing mechanics in general in Warhammer are quite a lot better too, just in the way that the missiles aim and hit. In Rome 2 and Attila, it seemed like they had a little bit of issues. I think it was better in Rome 2 than it was in Attila, to be honest. Alright, so the heavy peltists are going to push up. They're going to start trading javelins with the Iberian swords. Actually, it looks like they're going to try and throw at the Balearic slingers. The Balearic slingers not going to want to stand and take that, I don't think. So there's 2 Iberian swords up front and then 2 Gallic swords. So a lot of javelins being traded right now. Peltists are not doing very good at pushing back the slingers, but they have done a good job at killing quite a few of the noble cavalry over there. So the heavy peltists in the center are going to be pushed back, but that is also eating up quite a few javelins from the Gallic warriors and the Iberians. Got a Libyan infantry pushing in here, and it's going to definitely outmatch these 2 cheaper sword units here, and it's going to catch them. So not a great engagement to start with there, but it will allow the Libyan infantry to come in with a charge of their own. So yeah, the cheaper swords are going to pull back. Libyan infantry engaging Libyan infantry. Let's see what happens out here on the flank. Heavy peltists pushing with the cavalry. The Numidian nobles are going to need some help from the Scutari cav here, I think. Somehow this Iberian swordsman ended up behind the lines of the enemy here. If they could get a rear attack, that'd be nice. Back of those Libyan infantry. Pretty sure that the mercenary noble fighters are going to be almost impossible for the red team to kill. Because, I mean, the slingers just don't have a line on them. So you got the Libyan infantry here and the mercenary noble fighters. So this flank is going to be heavily in favor of the yellow bannered Carthage. So pretty sure that the red bannered Carthaginians are in trouble here. But at least they get this engagement here near their spearmen and some other support. Pretty favorable engagement here. And the Iberian swords are getting some nice javelins into the back of this fight. They got a lot of javelins, and they can be handy in this particular use. So they're going to cause some pretty extensive damage to the Samnites. They could take these Peltists in melee, but they're getting attacked by Libyan infantry as well. Alright, let's just see what's going down here. This engagement over here, favorable for the red bannered Carthaginians. Mercenary noble fighters haven't really... Yeah, they've already engaged and defeated one enemy. The mercenary Numidian noble cavalry would need to help recharge these noble fighters in order to get rid of them. Or at least hit them in the back with some javelins. Mercenary Samnites and Libyans, and the noble fighter out here just biding its time. The more the slingers can do to it, the better, because that unit is going to be very difficult to stop on this flank. It's spread out in such a long, thin line, too, that the slingers are going to struggle to do near as much damage to it. Let's see how it goes. This Peltist are pinned down here by the mercenary Numidian nobles. And the noble fighter here has mopped up a considerable number of enemies. And it looks like now that the red Carthaginian player is going to try and avoid a Libyan infantry on Libyan infantry here. Very tight fight. Those Iberian swords out there got caught and taken out. Personally, I think it's looking pretty good for the yellow bannered player at this point. The noble fighters have lost a decent chunk of men, but they still have plenty to be quite effective here. Slingers are slowly trying to do their work. This mercenary noble fighter's almost up to 300 kills now after just squashing a Gallic warrior there. A little bit of cavalry here. If they could pin this guy down and get some cycling on it. There is some skirmish fire hitting it point blank now. But I mean, there's a lot of yellow banners left on the field here. The noble fighter is going to get pinned by the hoplite, but I don't think that's going to bother them much. Let's see how this plays out. So hoplite is just trying to be defensive. Yeah, there's nowhere to run now. The yellow team's just breaking all the lines here. Going to be pouring through this gap. And this fight over here should sour against the Carthaginian, the hoplites, pretty quickly. Yeah, definitely need to disrupt this noble fighter. He's going to get the Balearic slingers out of there. I think repeated charges, both from the front and back, along with some Balearic slinger fire, might do the trick. So if he can pull out of there. The cavalry, yep, cycle in with Numidian nobles, or at least use their javelins. There you go. And then get the Balearic slingers firing away on these guys. Try and do some damage to them that way. It's about your only hope. Just kind of slowly pepper them apart. These mercenary Scutari are going to break here relatively soon. Are some late Libyan hoplites left over there, but this is going to fall apart heavily in favor of the yellow banners. Here comes the general's bodyguard and the Numidian nobles. Coming in and doing some decent damage to the noble fighters. And then some cavalry here trying to help break up these mercenary noble fighters as well. But a bodyguard coming through now, and it's going to try and get to the Balearic slingers. And it's going to be able to do so. The Numidian noble cav staying in combat, trying to finish off the noble fighters. Probably not a bad plan. So noble fighters aren't going to do great versus cavalry. And now they're going to swing over and try and help take down the yellow bannered bodyguard. These noble fighters still in good shape, 130 kills. So able to break one noble fighter, but a lot of banners left, like I said. This general's bodyguard only slowly dropping, so I'm pretty sure it's over for the red player here. The balance of power is definitely shifting. They are going to lose their general, but I don't think that's going to be enough to swap this battle over. So the red bannered player going for a more skirmish heavy type army, and it cost him here because he just got overwhelmed. And honestly, I mean, you can definitely skirmish in Rome 2, but like I said, it's a little different than some Total War games, and I would feel more comfortable with the heavy rush in Rome 2 because honestly, in the end, heavy infantry was definitely the name of the game in Rome 2. It doesn't mean that it was the win-all every time, but it's definitely, I think, one of the more easy to use and probably more straightforward tactics in the game. But I like what the yellow bannered player did here. You stack the noble fighters on the flank where they're going to probably come up against squishier enemy units because a lot of people tend to put their best units in the center. And then you hold the center, you smash the flanks, and you wrap your way in. Or you cause your enemy to have to shift their lines because of how much pressure you're putting on the flanks. And that kind of makes sense. Not a whole lot of time left. Let's fast forward because this one's going to go down sourly for the player with the red banners. We'll watch it as Carthaginian kills Carthaginian in a civil war here. Maybe this is Hamilcar defeating the mercenaries that they couldn't pay. Or they're fighting each other because they couldn't win against Rome, so now they're seeing where to place the blame. But like I said, the good news is, as we figured, Carthage won. So, victory for Carthage, or is it? Have they just weakened themselves for the impending invasion of Rome? Man, I really wish they could re-release like Total War Rome 2 with some of the controls and UI and mechanics that Warhammer has. Obviously not magical spells, but man, that would be cool. I loved this game, I did, but it was certainly a mess. Hey, I appreciate Bobby sending this in, and his opponent there, Lord Mauer, for playing a nice Carthage on Carthage game. Always appreciate people sending me the Rome 2 replays since I don't really play it myself anymore, but I do like to cast stuff on it still. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now. I'll see you soon.